Welcome back to Horoscope TV.
Hey everyone.
If you are Sagittarius, this is exactly where you need to be.
Oh, absolutely.
We are looking at your forecast for the week of April 13th to April 19th, 2026.
It is a massive week.
Yeah, this week brings huge changes. The stars are lining up to give you incredible power and fresh starts, but you will need to know exactly when to step on the gas and when to hit the brakes.
That is the crucial part.
Right, and that is the reason you have to tune in today. The sky is handing you a massive surge of momentum, but if you do not understand how this energy actually works, you might just spin your wheels or crash right into a wall by Sunday.
Yeah, and that is precisely what the astrological charts are showing us. When I analyze the movements for this week, we are looking at a sequence of planetary shifts that act like a pressure cooker for Sagittarius.
A pressure cooker, I love that.
Yeah, because there's this massive wave of fast-moving energy coming your way. It builds, and it creates this incredibly exciting rush. Yeah. But, it ends with a very sharp, unavoidable lesson in slowing down. So it is not just about moving fast. It is about learning how to capture that speed and turn it into something permanent.
Okay, I want to get straight into the architecture of this week, because we are going to look at exactly what the planets are doing, skipping the confusing jargon, right?
Yes, definitely. Plain English only.
Plain English. So we can explain the mechanics so you can actually use this. I am looking at the overview, and the central theme here seems to be fast minds and fresh starts.
It is.
So what exactly is triggering this speed? Because, a Sagittarius already likes to move quickly, but you are saying this week is different.
It is entirely different because of where the activity is happening in the charts. The momentum really kicks in on April 15 when Mercury moves into Aries.
Okay, Mercury in Aries.
Right, so Mercury is our communication center. It is the planet that dictates how we process thoughts, how we speak, and, how quickly our nervous system fires.
Wow.
And when it moves into Aries, which is a sign that shares your fire element, the processing speed just goes through the roof.
So it is kind of like having a super fast internet connection suddenly turn on in your brain.
Yes, exactly.
If you were on dial-up and boom, now you have fiber optic. It feels great, but you have to be ready to use it, right? Because it is not just that we have good ideas, it is the sheer velocity of the ideas.
Exactly. The velocity is wild.
But I want to push back on the idea that faster is always better.
Oh, for sure.
Because when my brain is moving that quickly, I often miss the details. Does this transit make us sharp, or does it just make us, really impulsive?
That is such a crucial distinction. Mercury in Aries does not automatically make you detail-oriented. In fact, it often strips away the details in favor of the big, bold vision. It makes your mind operate like a slingshot.
A slingshot. Okay, paint that picture for me.
Well, you pull back, and boom, the idea launches. You are not thinking about wind resistance or the exact trajectory.
Right.
You just want to hit the target.
Right, you just let it fly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is brilliant for brainstorming, but honestly terrible for editing. You're going to have flashes of absolute genius, but you have to be careful not to mistake a fast thought for a finished plan.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. The slingshot is a great way to picture it. You have this massive kinetic energy releasing all at once. And looking at the charts, it is not just Mercury acting alone on April 15th, right?
No, it is not.
Because the moon also enters Aries on that exact same day.
Yes.
So how does that change the equation?
Oh, it changes everything. Because Mercury is your mind, but the moon is your emotional center.
Right.
It rules your needs and your gut reactions. So when both your mind and your emotions are occupying that highly reactive, forward-pushing space, you get this compounding effect.
So they are feeding off each other.
Totally. Your thoughts are moving at lightning speed, and your emotions are basically screaming at you to do something about those thoughts right this second.
Oh, wow. So the thought and the action become almost tied together. There is no gap between having the idea and wanting to execute it. I can see how that would make a Sagittarius an absolute powerhouse on Wednesday. You are basically a human spark plug.
That is exactly what you are.
But, if I am just sparking all over the place, how do I actually build a fire? Which brings us to April 17th, I think.
Yes, April 17th, the new moon in Aries.
Okay.
This is the main event of the week.
So let us break down the mechanics of a new moon, because we hear that a lot, but what is actually happening in the sky that makes this a fresh start?
Well, a new moon occurs when the sun and the moon align at the exact same degree in the sky.
Okay.
So from our viewpoint on Earth, the moon basically disappears. It goes completely dark.
Right, no moonlight.
Exactly. And in astrological terms, The sun represents your conscious will, and the moon represents your unconscious needs.
Oh, interesting.
So when they line up like this, your conscious and conscious are finally pulling in the exact same direction. There is no internal conflict.
That is amazing. That explains why it feels so powerful.
Yeah.
Your heart and your head are finally agreeing with each other for once.
Exactly. It is rare and it is potent.
Hey.
And because this specific new moon happens in Aries, which is the first sign of the zodiac, the pioneer sign, it is the ultimate green light.
So the green light.
Yeah. The charts show that this is the moment to plant new seeds.
Okay, I want to dissect that phrase, planting seeds.
Sure.
Because it sounds really poetic, but what does the physical action of planting a seed look like under this specific new moon?
Right, because it is not just any seed.
Exactly. An Aries seed has to look different than, say, a quiet, cautious seed. Right?
Oh, it does. A seed planted under this energy requires absolute boldness. It is not about quietly researching a topic.
Okay.
It is about taking a visible, tangible step in the real world. So, for example, if you want to write a book, the seed is not outlining the chapters on your laptop in the dark.
Right, that is too quiet.
Exactly. The seed is publicly announcing you are writing the book, or maybe sending the first chapter to an editor. It requires a physical action that locks you into the path.
I see. So it is about putting skin in the game, making a commitment that you cannot easily back out of later.
Yes.
Like maybe it is buying the domain name for the business you have been dreaming about, or paying the non-refundable deposit on a class you want to take. You are striking the match.
That is the perfect way to look at it. You are using that fast, decisive energy from earlier in the week to make a move that actually shifts your reality.
Okay, so I am a Sagittarius. I have been riding this incredible wave. I had the fast ideas on Wednesday. I planted the bold seed on Friday. I am feeling totally unstoppable.
Right.
And then we hit Sunday, April 19th, and the astrological charts show Mars meeting Saturn.
Yes. The reality check.
I have to be honest, looking at this, it feels like a cosmic bait and switch.
It does feel that way.
You give me the slingshot, you give me the spark plug, you let me start the engine, and then on Sunday, you throw a giant brick wall in front of me. Why does the energy shift so violently?
Well, it feels like a wall if you're trying to keep moving at the same speed, but let us look at the mechanics of what is actually happening.
Okay.
Mars is your raw energy, your physical drive, your desire to push forward.
Right.
Saturn is gravity. Saturn is time, structure, limits, and rules.
Oof, okay.
So when the planet of forward motion crashes into the planet of structure, you literally cannot keep moving fast. The universe is applying the brakes.
But why? I mean, if I have all this momentum, why not let me keep running?
Because momentum without structure just creates a mess.
Oh.
Think about pouring molten metal.
Okay, yeah.
The Mars energy is the liquid metal.
Yeah.
It is red hot, it is moving fast, it is full of potential. But if you just pour it out on the floor, it cools into a completely useless puddle.
Wow, yeah, it just spreads everywhere and does nothing.
Exactly. Saturn provides the mold. Saturn says, pour that energy in here, stay within these strict lines. It slows the metal down, it traps it. But that is how you forge a sword.
Okay, that is a brilliant way to explain it. Saturn is not the enemy of my energy. Saturn is the container for it.
Precisely. The stars are not punishing you on Sunday. They are asking you to take responsibility for all those big plans you just made.
Wow.
You planted the seed on Friday? By Sunday, Saturn is asking you to water it, pull the weeds around it, and build a fence to protect it. And that is not glamorous work.
No, it is not.
It is slow, tedious work.
So practically speaking, Sunday is not the day to launch another new idea.
Definitely not.
Sunday is the day to sit down, look at what you started on Friday, and do the unglamorous paperwork to make sure it actually survives.
That is exactly the assignment. If you try to sprint on Sunday, you will hit that wall and feel deeply frustrated. But if you accept the assignment and do the heavy lifting, you will build something that lasts for years.
I love that. This sets up the week perfectly. A massive surge of inspiration followed by the demand for discipline.
It is a great rhythm if you know it is coming.
Totally. So let us see how this exact same pattern affects the heart. Moving into love and romance, how does a Sagittarius navigate this fast to slow energy with their partner or, if they are looking for someone new?
Well, the love forecast for this week is actually quite beautiful, but it requires you to be very brave.
Okay.
The charts show a deep dive into the emotional center, starting with a very lucky aspect right at the beginning of the week.
Oh, nice. Let us look at Monday, April 13th. What is happening there?
On Monday, Venus makes a highly beneficial link to Jupiter. Now, let us analyze these planets.
Okay.
Venus dictates what we value, what we find beautiful, and how we show affection. Jupiter is the great expander. It takes whatever it touches and blows it up, making it larger, warmer, and more abundant.
And Jupiter is the ruling planet of Sagittarius, right? So this has to feel deeply personal for them.
It does. When Venus and Jupiter connect in this way, it creates a field of immense generosity. You are not just feeling love, you are radiating it.
Oh, wow.
For a Sagittarius, this translates to a profound sense of optimism about your relationships. You are able to see the absolute best in your partner. The minor annoyances just sort of fade into the background, and you are just happy to be in their presence.
That sounds lovely. But what if a listener is single? This sounds like the kind of day where you walk down the street and just naturally draw people to you.
That is a very accurate reading of the charts. Your aura is essentially broadcasting warmth.
Yeah.
If you are single, this is not the day to sit alone in your apartment. You need to put yourself in the path of opportunity.
Right. And the outline notes that this is a great day to meet someone who shares your dreams. I want to emphasize that word, dreams. It is not just about physical attraction.
No, not at all. Jupiter is the planet of philosophy and future vision. A Venus-Jupiter connection means you are looking for a co-pilot, not just a passenger.
Oh, I like that. A co-pilot.
Yeah, you want someone who looks at the horizon and wants to go to the exact same place you do. So if you meet someone on April 13th, pay close attention to the conversations you have.
Okay.
You might find yourselves instantly talking about your big life goals, your travel plans, your core beliefs.
I love that. It is the kind of date where you skip the small talk and jump right into the meaning of life.
Exactly.
But as we move through the week, the tone shifts a bit. We hit Thursday, April 16th. The Sun meets Chiron. This sounds a lot heavier than Venus and Jupiter.
It is heavier, but it is super necessary. To understand this, we need to look at what Chiron represents in the astrological charts.
Okay.
Chiron is an asteroid known as the wounded healer. It represents the deep core wounds we carry, often things from our past that we have tried to bury or ignore.
And on Thursday, the Sun meets it. So the Sun is basically shining a massive spotlight right on that wound.
That is exactly the mechanics of it. The Sun acts as an eliminator. When it crosses the same degree as Chiron, you just cannot ignore the pain anymore.
Oh, wow.
For a Sagittarius, this might manifest as a sudden memory of a past relationship where you felt trapped or misunderstood. Or it might be a deep insecurity about your own worthiness, surfacing right in the middle of a perfectly normal day.
Wow. So it kind of sneaks up on you. And I think a lot of people might look at that and think, oh, man, I am having a bad week. Everything is going wrong in my relationship.
Yeah, that is a common reaction.
But that is not what is actually happening, is it? The pain coming up is not the problem. The pain coming up is the cure.
Yes, that is a vital perspective. Imagine you have a bone that broke years ago, but it never set properly.
Ouch, okay.
It aches when it rains, it limits your movement, but you have basically just learned to live with it. What the Sun and Chiron are doing is essentially re-breaking that bone so it can be set correctly.
I mean, that sounds incredibly painful. It is like cleaning out a messy closet, right? You have to pull out all the old, dusty, embarrassing things, throw them all over the bedroom floor to finally get rid of them and make the closet clean.
Yes, that is exactly it. It is a sharp, temporary pain designed to create permanent relief. The charts are showing that if an old hurt comes up on April 16, your job is not to push it back down.
Right. Do not shove it back in the closet.
Right. Your job is to look at your partner or look in the mirror if you are single and speak the fear out loud. Acknowledge it.
So just saying something like, I am reacting this way because I was hurt before.
Exactly.
Just saying that changes the entire dynamic. It stops being a stupid fight about who forgot to take out the trash, and it becomes a real conversation about emotional safety.
Precisely. And by doing that, you clear the emotional debris. You make space. Which leads us to the very next day, April 17. The energy shifts dramatically again. The moon enters Taurus.
Okay, so we go from the fire of Aries and the emotional surgery of Chiron into the earth of Taurus. How does that feel in the body?
It feels like a massive exhale. Taurus is governed by the senses. It does not care about philosophy, and it really does not want to analyze past trauma anymore.
Thank goodness.
Taurus wants to know what is for dinner, how soft the blankets are, and whether the house is warm.
The ultimate grounding energy.
Yeah. When the moon shifts into Taurus, your emotional needs become very simple and very physical. After the mental speed of the week and the emotional vulnerability of Thursday, by Friday night, you are going to crave extreme comfort.
So the actionable advice for a Sagittarius on April 17 is to completely cancel any plans that require high energy.
Absolutely.
Do not go to the loud, crowded bar. Do not go to a noisy party.
The charts strongly suggest staying in. What this energy wants for you to cook a meal together or, order your absolute favorite food, put on your most comfortable clothes, and just be physically close to your partner.
Yeah.
It is about restoring the nervous system through touch and quiet presence.
Okay, and there is something in our notes about staying honest and speaking clearly during this Taurus moon. Why is that specific to Taurus?
Because Taurus values stability above all else. It hates mind games. It hates hidden agendas.
Right, no drama.
Exactly. If you are sitting on the couch with your partner, this is not the time to be mysterious or passive-aggressive. If you want something, you state it plainly. If you feel a certain way, you say it. This simple, unadorned honesty acts like glue for the relationship. It built a foundation of immense trust.
I really love that. So we have a clear map for the heart this week. You start by projecting warmth and looking for a shared vision on Monday. You do the hard work of clearing out the old wounds in the middle of the week, and you end the week rooted in physical comfort and absolute honesty.
Yes.
If you do that, your relationship's going to be significantly stronger by Sunday than it was on Monday.
That is the promise of these astrological charts. But of course, a happy heart gives you the energy to conquer the rest of your life.
Definitely.
So how you handle this emotional energy directly impacts how you show up at your job. Let us look at work and career.
Perfect transition. Because the career forecast is packed with major alignments. We already established that the mind is moving fast, but how does that translate to the actual workplace? What is the first domino to fall?
The first domino falls on Monday, April 13th, and it is a fascinating combination. Mars meets Neptune. We have discussed Mars as the engine, the drive, the ambition.
Right.
But Neptune is entirely different. Neptune is the planet of illusion, imagination, dreams, and the collective unconscious.
That seems like a strange pairing. The warrior planet meeting the dreamer planet. Does that make us, aggressive about our fantasies?
It can, but at its highest vibration, Mars meeting Neptune gives you inspired action. You are not just working for a paycheck. You are suddenly tapped into the underlying purpose of your work.
Oh, wow.
The charts show that on Monday, you might be looking at a completely mundane task, like organizing a spreadsheet or answering emails, and suddenly you see how it connects to the grand vision of what you want to achieve in your career.
Oh, that is so cool. It provides the meaning behind the grind. You are laying a single brick, but Neptune lets you see the cathedral you are building.
Exactly. It fills your ambition with imagination. And you will really need that imagination because the very next day, April 14, the universe delivers a shock to the system. Mercury connects to Uranus.
Okay, let us analyze this. Mercury is the mind and communication. What is the function of Uranus here?
Uranus is the planet of sudden, electrifying change. It rules technology, rebellion, and flashes of absolute brilliance. It does not move in a straight line. It moves in sudden leaps.
Okay.
When your communication center connects with the planet of sudden brilliance, the result is a massive intellectual breakthrough.
Is this like a cartoon light bulb turning over my head?
It is. The charts indicate that on Tuesday, you are going to experience sudden, brilliant ideas that seem to drop into your head out of nowhere. You might be standing in line for coffee, not even thinking about work, and suddenly the solution to a problem you have been stuck on for a month just appears fully formed in your mind.
That is incredible. But I imagine it can also be a little disruptive. Like if I am in a serious meeting on Tuesday and this flash of brilliance hits me, I might just blurt it out and derail the whole agenda.
You might. And honestly, the charts suggest you should.
Really?
Yes. These ideas are designed to impress your bosses or your clients.
Oh.
They are innovative. They are the kind of ideas that break old patterns and save time and money. Do not hold them back.
Okay, wow. Which brings us perfectly to April 15. We already talked about Mercury moving into Aries, creating that super fast mental processing. But applying that to the career sector, this basically gives us the courage to actually sell those brilliant ideas.
Yes. Having a great idea on Tuesday is useless if you are too intimidated to share it. Mercury in Aries strips away the intimidation.
Right.
Aries is fearless. When your communication is filtered through that fearless energy, you speak with immense authority.
I can picture this vividly.
Yeah.
The Sagittarius walks into the conference room on Wednesday. They do not use filler words. They do not apologize for taking up time. They stand at the head of the table and say, here is the problem, here is my brilliant solution, and here's why we need to do it. That kind of confidence is magnetic. Bosses respond to that. Clients buy into that.
They absolutely do.
Right.
And you are building a specific narrative at work all week. You have the inspiration on Monday, the breakthrough on Tuesday, the fearless pitch on Wednesday. This all culminates on April 17 with the new moon in Aries.
The ultimate fresh start. So how does a Sagittarius leverage this new moon in their career?
The astrological charts are screaming at you to take a major leap. If you work for a company, this is the day to walk into the office and ask for a promotion.
Wow.
You've spent the week proving your value right. Now you claim the reward.
What if a listener works for themselves? What if they are a freelancer, an entrepreneur?
Then this is the day to launch the new product, push the website live, send the proposal to the biggest client you can find.
Go big.
Yeah, the energy of the new moon supports aggressive, forward-moving launches. Whatever you start on this day has a massive cosmic wind behind its sails.
It sounds like the peak of the mountain. You are standing at the top, planting your flag. But then we get to Sunday, April 19.
Yes, the Mars and Saturn conjunction.
Right. We talked about this in the overview. Mars hits the wall of Saturn. The brakes are applied. In a career context, if I just launched a huge project on Friday or got a massive promotion, why is the universe stepping on the brakes on Sunday? Does this mean the pitch failed?
No, it does not mean it failed at all. It means the invoice has come due.
Wait, explain that. What do you mean the invoice has come due?
You sold them the dream on Wednesday. You got the green light on Friday. Now Saturn steps in and says, congratulations on the promotion. Now you actually have to do the work.
Oh, man.
Saturn demands proof.
Yeah.
You cannot just be the person with the loud, confident ideas. You must be the person who can sit at the desk for 10 hours and execute those ideas flawlessly.
Oh, that is a heavy reality check. It is the difference between writing the brilliant business plan and actually, like, stocking the shelves.
Exactly. Mars wants to keep pitching new ideas, but Saturn forces you to stop, roll up your sleeves, and build the foundation for the idea you just sold. The charts show that your reputation depends heavily on how you handle this transit.
Right.
If you get lazy or try to delegate the hard work, Saturn will expose that. You must prove you are a reliable, disciplined worker.
So the whole week is a test. Can you be brilliant? Yes. Can you be brave? Yes. But ultimately on Sunday, the question is, can you be disciplined?
Exactly.
Because if you can combine the brilliance of Uranus with the discipline of Saturn, you are completely unstoppable.
But that is the absolute alchemy of success. And naturally, when you were talking about promotions, brilliant ideas, and hard work, the conversation has to turn to the tangible results of that work. We need to look at money and finance.
Let us get into the bank account. Because if I am pitching big ideas and getting promotions, I want to see the numbers go up. What do the charts say about Sagittarius and their money this week?
The financial picture is very dynamic, but it requires a very specific shift in mindset halfway through the week.
Okay, we start with the surprise, right? Going back to Monday, April 13th, Venus and Jupiter.
Yes, the lucky link between Venus and Jupiter. We discussed how this brings warmth to your love life, but Venus also governs money, luxury, and resources.
Right.
And Jupiter expands those resources. So when they connect, it often manifests as a sudden influx of financial luck.
So what does that look like in real life? Are we talking about finding a $20 bill on the sidewalk or like winning the lottery?
It is rarely the lottery.
Yeah.
But it is highly noticeable. It could be a surprise bonus from your employer because of the hard work you did last month. It could be a generous gift from a family member. Or it could simply be that an investment you made suddenly pays a quick dividend. The energy basically brings a feeling of abundance.
Okay, as the host, I have to step in and raise a massive warning flag right here.
Uh-oh.
Because I know how Sagittarius operates. When a Sagittarius gets an unexpected windfall, their immediate reaction is to buy a plane ticket or, treat all their friends to an expensive dinner.
You are not wrong. The fire sign impulse is to spend the energy immediately.
Exactly. So my warning is, do not spend it all at once. Put the credit card away. Enjoy the feeling of having the extra money, but let it sit in the account for a minute because looking at the charts, we are going to need it.
That warning is fully supported by the astrological data because on Thursday, April 16th, the financial tone turns very serious. Mars connects to Pluto.
Okay, let us analyze this connection. We know Mars's drive. What is Pluto doing to our money?
Pluto is the planet of the underworld. It rules deep transformation, regeneration, and the things hidden beneath the surface. It strips away everything that is dead or decaying.
Wow, okay.
So when Mars connects with Pluto, you get a laser-like, ruthless focus to dig into the hidden depths of your life. In this context, it means doing a forensic audit of your finances.
A forensic audit. That sounds terrifying, but also incredibly powerful.
It is powerful. The charts show that on Thursday, you will suddenly have the motivation to sit down with your bank statements and look for the rot. You are going to find the hidden ways your money is leaking out.
Oh, I know exactly what this is. It is the subscriptions.
Yes.
You sign up for a streaming service to watch one specific show, you totally forget about it, and you have been paying $15 a month for a year. Or the gym membership you have not used since January.
Exactly. Or it is realizing how much you're actually spending on takeout food because you are too tired to cook. Mars and Pluto give you the surgical precision to identify those leaks and the ruthlessness to cut them off entirely. You are rebuilding your budget by eliminating waste.
And once we stop the leaks, we have to rebuild the structure. Which brings us to Friday, April 17, and the moon moving into Taurus. We know Taurus wants physical comfort, but how does Taurus handle money?
Taurus is the ultimate archetype of financial security. It rules the earth, agriculture, and tangible assets. When the moon is in Taurus, your emotional need for security aligns with your financial habits. You do not want to take risks. You want to build lasting, unshakable security.
Right. Now, the outline mentions avoiding fast tricks and focusing on true value. Let us dig into the mechanics of that. What constitutes a fast trick in astrology, and why is it dangerous right now?
A fast trick is anything that appeals to the Aries energy of the week.
Yeah.
The desire for immediate gratification. In finance, this looks like buying into a highly speculative investment because someone online said it was going to double by tomorrow.
Ah, crypto, meme stock.
Exactly. Or, on a daily level, it means buying cheap, poorly made items because they provide a quick hit of dopamine, even though you know they will break in a week.
Yeah, it is the illusion of a bargain. You think you are saving money, but you are actually just throwing it into a fire.
Precisely. Taurus energy completely rejects the illusion. True value means looking at the longevity of an asset. It is the concept of cost per use.
Oh, I love that concept. Let us explain that for the listener.
Cost per use means looking past the initial price tag. If you buy a cheap winter coat for $50, but it is not warm and the zipper breaks after one season, your cost per use is high. You have to buy another one next year.
Right.
But if you spend $200 on a high-quality coat that lasts for 10 years, the cost per use is incredibly low. That is true value. That is Taurus energy.
Okay, so the financial advice for the week is clear. Accept the lucky windfall on Monday, aggressively cut your wasteful spending on Thursday, and on Friday, if you're going to spend money, spend it on something permanent.
Yes.
Buy the good mattress. Put the money in a high-yield savings account. Focus on slow, steady accumulation.
That is the exact formula for turning a volatile week into permanent wealth.
Okay, so we have talked about the mind moving at light speed. We have talked about emotional surgery and intense budget audits. Listening to all of this, I am exhausted just thinking about it.
It is a lot. The physical body has to carry all this astrological weather. Let us move to health and wellness. How does a Sagittarius physically survive this week?
Well, the physical body is under a lot of pressure this week, and the charts are very clear about the need for preparation.
Let us look at Monday, April 13th. The moon enters Pisces. What is the physical mandate here?
Pisces is the final sign of the zodiac. It is a water sign, deeply associated with the lymphatic system, the immune system, and the body's need to retreat and flush out toxins.
Okay.
So when the moon enters Pisces right at the start of the week, it is a warning from the charts. Your body is telling you to stockpile rest.
It is like the calm before the storm. You cannot drive a race car if you do not put gas and oil in it first.
Exactly. You need to sleep more than usual. You need to hydrate intensely. Water is the physical manifestation of Pisces energy. It flushes the system and prepares the cells for the massive influx of fire energy that is coming on Wednesday. I picture it like a farmer preparing a field. You cannot just throw seeds onto dry, cracked earth and expect them to grow. You have to irrigate the soil. You have to let it rest. Drinking water and getting 8 hours of sleep on Monday is irrigating the soil of your body.
That is a wonderful analogy, because by Wednesday, when Mercury and the moon hit Aries, the physical speed is going to demand everything you have. Your nervous system is going to be firing constantly.
Right.
If you did not rest on Monday, you're going to feel brittle and frantic by Wednesday afternoon.
But if you did rest, if you prepared the soil, then Friday is going to feel amazing. The new moon in Aries on April 17th. The charts say this feels like getting a brand new body.
It really does. Aries rules the head, the blood, and the physical vitality of the body. A new moon in this sign is a massive surge of regenerative energy. Your cells feel awake. Your metabolism feels faster. It is the absolute best day of the lunar cycle to initiate a new physical regimen,
So this is the day to start the new workout routine.
without question. If you have been feeling sluggish, April 17th is the day you wake up and the sluggishness is gone. The charts show that your body is primed to adapt to new stressors.
Awesome.
If you start lifting weights, your muscles will respond faster. If you change your diet to healthier, cleaner foods, your digestive system will accept the change easily. You are physically planting the seed of health.
That is the ultimate motivation. But as we have seen in every other area of life this week, the peak on Friday is followed by the crash on Sunday. We have to talk about Mars meeting Saturn again, but this time in the context of the physical body.
This is perhaps the most important warning of the entire week. In medical astrology, Mars governs the muscles, the red blood cells, and the physical exertion of force.
Okay.
But Saturn governs the bones, the joints, the teeth, and the limits of the physical frame.
Oh boy, so the muscles are crashing into the bones. That sounds like an injury waiting to happen.
It is a high-friction transit. If you start a new workout on Friday and you feel great, the danger is that by Sunday you think you are invincible. Mars wants you to run 10 miles.
Right. But Saturn is the structural limit. If you ignore Saturn, if you push the muscles harder than the joints can handle, the charts indicate a high probability of stiff muscles, sprains, or extreme debilitating exhaustion.
Wow, the universe is literally telling you to stop, and if you do not listen, it will break something to make you stop.
Saturn will always enforce the limit. The choice is yours whether you enforce it voluntarily or Saturn enforces it physically.
So what is the actionable advice here? How do we work with Saturn instead of fighting it?
The key is daily maintenance and profound respect for recovery. The chart suggests that stretching is non-negotiable this week. Yoga, Pilates, or just simple mobility work. You must keep the joints lubricated.
Okay.
And more importantly, you must listen to the microscopic signals your body sends you.
So if your knee twinges on a run, you do not push through the pain, you stop. Exactly. Pushing through the pain is a Mars reaction. Stopping and stretching is a Saturn reaction. Saturn demands respect for the physical vessel. If you are tired, you must rest. Do not drink another energy drink to artificially extend your Mars energy.
Right.
Let the body recover, and you will secure the long-term health you started building on Friday.
Okay, we have mapped out the mind, the heart, the career, the bank account, and the physical body. It is a monumental week.
Truly monumental.
But we do not exist in a vacuum. We have to interact with other people while all this is happening. Let us get into the relationships that will make a break this week. Who are the best and worst matches for a Sagittarius right now?
The people you surround yourself with act as amplifiers for the planetary energy. They can either smooth out the friction or make it significantly worse. Let us start with the positive amplification. Your best match this week is Aries.
That makes perfect sense mechanically. We have this massive cluster of planets moving through Aries this week. So finding an Aries person means finding someone who naturally embodies the exact energy the universe is pushing you toward.
Precisely. Aries is a fellow fire sign. In the astrological charts, fire signs operate on a trine aspect to each other, which means the energy flows between them effortlessly. There are no blockages.
How does that look in a practical situation?
Well, it means an Aries is going to understand your speed without needing an explanation.
Ah.
If you have that sudden Uranus breakthrough on Tuesday, and you call an Aries friend at midnight to tell them about it, they are not going to be annoyed that you woke them up. They are going to match your excitement. They will take your idea, add their own spark to it, and escalate the momentum.
That is so validating because a lot of times a Sagittarius can feel like they're too much for other people. You have these wild visions and earth signs will tell you to be realistic or water signs will tell you to calm down. But Aries says faster.
Yes, especially around the new moon on April 17. The charts show that if you partner with an Aries on that day, the seeds you plant together will grow incredibly fast. They offer absolute, fearless support. Spending time with them will make you feel confident, happy, and deeply appreciated.
Okay, so find your Aries friends, keep them close, put them on speed dial. But who is the worst match? Who is going to look at this fast-moving Sagittarius and completely misinterpret the energy?
The charts indicate a massive clash with Pisces this week.
Fire and water. Historically a difficult combination. One always destroys the other. The water puts out the fire, or the fire boils the water away.
That is the exact mechanical friction occurring here. We discussed how Pisces energy at the start of the week is all about rest, retreat, and emotional safety.
Right.
That is their baseline. They are highly sensitive, deeply intuitive, and they move at a slow, fluid pace.
And we are moving like a freight train.
Exactly. The core conflict happens around April 15th when Mercury enters Aries. Your communication becomes incredibly direct, fast, and blunt. You're trying to be efficient. But to a Pisces, that directness feels like an attack.
I can picture this perfectly. You are at work, you send a quick 3-word email to a Pisces colleague. You say, "Need this fixed now." You do not mean it maliciously, you are just moving fast. But the Pisces reads that, and their feelings are deeply hurt. They think you are angry with them, so they withdraw.
Yes, and when they withdraw, they slow the project down, which triggers your Mars energy.
Right? If they slow me down, I feel trapped. I feel like I am dragging a heavy weight.
Yeah.
And then the Sagittarius gets actually angry, the Pisces gets more hurt, and it spirals into a massive, unnecessary conflict.
It is a complete misalignment of speeds and needs. The charts strongly advise keeping a polite, respectful distance from Pisces energy this week.
Okay.
Do not ask them to join your fast-paced projects. Do not try to force them to match your excitement. Give them their quiet space and protect your own forward momentum.
That is highly practical advice. It is not about anyone being the bad guy. It is just recognizing that the astrological machinery is turning at completely different RPMs. Let the water be still and let the fire burn elsewhere. Now, before we bring this incredible map to a close, I have the lucky extras from the charts. The specific numbers, colors, and dates that carry a supportive vibration for Sagittarius this week.
These data points are very strong right now. Pay attention.
Listeners, grab a pen. The lucky numbers identified in the charts for this week are 9, 14, 22, 29, 35, and 41. Let me repeat those so you have them. 9, 14, 22, 29, 35, and 41. If you need to pick a date, a time, or make a numerical choice, lean into those vibrations.
And we also have a specific color frequency that will support the Jupiter energy we discussed earlier.
Yes, the color of the week is purple, the color of royalty, spirituality, and deep expansion. If you are going into that big meeting on Wednesday to pitch your brilliant idea, wear something purple.
Yes, absolutely.
Keep a purple notebook on your desk. Let it physically remind you of your own authority and luck. And finally, just to recap the timeline, the absolute best power dates to take major action are April 15th and April 17th.
Use the 15th for your intellectual breakthroughs and fearless communication, and use the 17th to physically plant the seeds of your new beginning.
We have covered an immense amount of ground today. We mapped the mental slingshot of Mercury, the emotional surgery of Chiron, the brilliant lightning strikes of Uranus, and the heavy, necessary anvil of Saturn. It is a week that demands everything you have.
It is a defining week. And as we finish analyzing these charts, I want to leave you with one final conceptual mechanism to think about.
Okay.
The stars are giving you the sheer, raw power to plant absolutely any seed you want this week. The energy is there. But the responsibility lies entirely with you. You have to ask yourself, are you using this fire to plant a quick weed that will grow fast and die at the first frost? Or are you using the discipline of Saturn to plant a slow-growing oak tree that will give you shade for the rest of your life?
That is the ultimate question of the week. Do not just move fast, build something permanent. Think deeply about the tree you are planting. Thank you for listening to this episode on Horoscope TV. We are incredibly grateful to have you here navigating these planetary shifts with us.
It has been an absolute privilege to break down these charts for you.
Make sure you subscribe right now so that you can get notified when the next episode is available, because the sky is always moving and we will be right here to map it out for you. Until then, use the speed, respect the limits, and have a truly powerful week.